Hello, my name is Nick, and today I'm going to tell you who Jan Pieterszoon Coen was. Jan Pieterszoon Coen was the son of a merchant who was born in 1578 in Hoorn. In the year 1600, at age 13, he went to Italy to learn more about double-century accounting, and he was learning foreign languages. He learns it from a Flemish merchant, Joost the Fisher. He studied there for 6 years and then returned to the Netherlands. In 1602, the VOC was founded in rooms in Hoorn and Enkhuizen. In 1607, he went to the Indies for the first time in the service of the VOC as a junior merchant on the ship Nieuw Horizon. He did this under an admiral named Pieter Willemszoon Verhoef. In 1611, he returned to Hoorn. A year later, in 1612, he left again. This was his second trip, but this time he left as a chief merchant. In 1614, Coen was appointed Director General and was already on his way to a successful career. He made a quick career and was appointed Governor General after 11 years, the highest administrator in India. This happened in 1617, a year after he was named Governor General. In 1618, he ran into a conflict with the English for the monopolies on spice trade. In the year 1619, Coen conquered Jakarta and burned the city. Instead, he founded the city of Batavia. But in 1622, there was a successor as Governor General. This was Peter the Carpenter. A year later, in 1623, Coen returned to the Netherlands and was rewarded for his service. Coen becomes director of the VOC, Chamber Hoorn. Coen is asked again as Governor General in 1624. He wants to get married before he says yes. He marries a 90-year-old Eva Mert from Amsterdam in 1625. They are going to live together in the Walmoestraat. In 1626, Coen had a child. Unfortunately, the child died shortly after birth. Only 3 years after Coen was asked again as Governor General, he said yes in 1627 and leave for the Indies with his wife-in-law. Coen had to defend the city of Batavia well in 1628 because an army of 19,000 men attacked. In 1629, another daughter was born. Her name is Joanna. Unfortunately, this daughter also died shortly after birth. In this year, Batavia was again besieged by the ruler of Mataran. As Governor General, he was seen as the founder of the Dutch East India Company and was one of the greatly expanded of the power of the VOC. For example, he managed to enforce many spice monopolies by including more treaties. He also expanded the trade in Asia to get spice, and when none of the opinions worked, he used violence. The use of violence is therefore sometimes that makes him later seen as a bad person out of history. He fought several wars against local groups, and he also had frequent conflicts with the English and the Portuguese. He went as far as to make peace between the Republic and the English, and he gravely continued to attack English ships in Asia. What exactly did G.P. Coen do? G.P. Coen is responsible for the genocide in the Banda Islands, of which about 600 of the 1,500 people have survived. This violence of the Banda Islands was carried out under his leadership in 1621. All the inhabitants of these islands were expelled by him and slaughtered by hired samurai warriors. Because the English did not keep their agreement and he wanted to have control over the spice nutmeg. Nutmeg was as precious as gold at the time. We know that violence went far, even before its time, because gentlemen 17, but who were lords 17. They were the board of the VOC. They consisted of eight persons from Amsterdam, 4 from Zeeland, 1 person from Delft, 1 person from Rotterdam, 1 person of Hoorn, 1 person of Enkhuizen. They indicated that G.P. Coen should use less violence. Merton's 17 were conductorary and after his first term of Governor-General rewarded G.P. Coen for his services and was given a sword. For his next term, gentlemen have appointed 17 G.P. Coen as Governor-General, so they didn't mind his violence too much. As long as the money flowed in, it would be good. Until the end of the 20th century, this negative aspect of G.P. Coen was never told. It was only about the fact that he was the founder of the Dutch Indies colony, and he was the founder of the capital Bukharia in 1619, which now called Jakarta. In the 20th century, this negative side of G.P. Coen was increasingly emphasized, and the founder of the Dutch East Indies colony was also done by the use of a lot of violence. The city of Batavia was founded on a destroyed, burned city cast by G.P. Coen. G.P. Coen died on September 22 in 1629 in Batavia, presumably by cholera, with the motto, "Do it big or don't do it. Even grain of sand is made of gold." But now is the question, was G.P. Coen a hero or a villain? And should a statue stand or not? We asked at this at the museum. Unfortunately, we can't go to the museum due to Corona, but there are still questions with the answers. What has G.P. Coen done? G.P. Coen is responsible for a genocide on the Banda Islands, with more than 1,500 people died. He did this because the Bandanese did not fulfill their spice contract under pressure for the English. Why are these protests against the statue of G.P. Coen? The statue of G.P. Coen is now being protested because we view history differently than we did 100 years ago. Why is there a discussion about the statue right now? Because of the past of the slave trade is flaring up again, and it also has to do with Black Lives Matter. What does G.P. Coen mean for Hoorn? He helped make Hoorn a rich and flourishing trading city. Do you see G.P. Coen as a hero or a villain? I see G.P. Coen as a villain because he killed about 15,000 people in a very short time. Do you think that the municipality of Hoorn should remove the statue of G.P. Coen, and why? I think they should leave the statue because it's a part of history of Hoorn, and I think it's important that we keep remembering history because we can learn from it. Last, we have our opinion. We think the statue can be stand because most people don't know it anyway and aren't interested in the story behind it. So we think they can't give an opinion if most people don't even know the story behind the statue. And besides, the statue has an important historical meaning, so there is no need to take it away now because it's already standing there for years. We hoped this informed you enough about G.P. Coen. Thanks for watching.